Here. Dr. Chambers.
Here.
Jenkins. Edward Weed. Here. Mom Whitfield.
Present.
Mike Dunn.
Yes, sir.
Chris Business.
Here.
Dr. Washington. Here. Entertain a motion. This time we have the pledge of allegiance. We are leading. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Chambers, second by Mr. Whitfield. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Approval of minutes. And a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bishop. Second by Mr. Jenkins. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, likewise, motion carried. Recognition, Dr. Ellis.
This time I would ask Mr. Ferris and Dr. Womble to come up here, and they're going to have a recognition. I'll give them center stage.
Good evening, Superintendent Ellis, members of the Nash County Schools Board of Education. First of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Mike Bartholomew for being here tonight. So thank you, sir. And the president of the Rocky Mount Area Chamber of Commerce, our Board of Trustee, Mr. David Ferris. And on behalf of the North Carolina Center for the Advancement of Teaching, it is my privilege to announce that Mr. Mike Bartholomew has been selected as a finalist for the NCAT 2026 Burroughs Wellcome Fund North Carolina Career and Technical Education Teacher of the Year Award. This recognition highlights Mr. Bartholomew's exceptional contribution to the CTE's instruction and his remarkable impact on the students and community here in Nash County. The Career and Technical Education Teacher of the Year Award was established to celebrate the innovation, leadership, and the dedication of CTE educators across North Carolina. This award honors teachers who exemplify the highest standards of excellence in preparing students for both college and career pathways. Mr. Bartholomew will be attending a week of professional development with his fellow finalists in December. On December 4th, NCAT will celebrate all finalists at a recognition event at the Corey Convention Center in Greensboro. At NCAT, we are committed to advancing teaching as an art and a profession, and are thrilled to celebrate Mr. Bartholomew as a shining example of this mission. Please join me in congratulating Mr. Bartholomew on the outstanding achievement. We are pleased to provide you with a certificate recognizing you as a NCAT 2026 Burroughs Wellcome Fund North Carolina Career and Technical Education Teacher of the Year finalist. And please give me a hand this time. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You did some with the public input. Each month, the first part of at least one regular scheduled board meeting will be set aside for citizens to address board through public comment. Each speaker will receive 3 minutes to present comment. Board members will not respond to individuals who address the board except for request clarification points made by the presenter. Disruptions by any person or persons of a public meeting will be subject to action in accordance with GS 143-318.17. Tonight we have 3 speakers. Pastor Mike Battle.
Good evening, Superintendent, school board members. I am here tonight on behalf of the Swift Creek CDC. Understand that the Swift Creek property, again, has been put up for bid or will be put up for bid. Need clarification on that. But there is a organization that is interested in that property. And there is a business plan that has been developed, and there are funds to be raised that are being raised at this time. We come tonight to share the blight that we see in the community, in the Swift Creek community and surrounding areas. And we were thinking if that 17 acres were actually active, it could really help the community in so many ways. We think about our youth, we think about our seniors, and we think about those that actually could have daycare in that area if that area was accessible. So we come tonight appealing before you, knowing that it may be in your power to give that. If that is up for bid, we are looking to proceed with that. So tonight we are excited to be here because that's an area that I grew up in, attended that school for 8 years, played in that gym, was developed, and they used to call me Michael Jordan. I don't know why, but that's an area. If that area was active, it could really help that community. And that community really could prosper just the activities that would be going on there, especially our seniors, especially our young people. So we ask that you just consider that tonight, and the rest of my 3 minutes, I'm going to yield that to the next speaker, Minister Robert Austin.
Thank you, school board, for allowing us to come and present our desire to talk about it here tonight. And as Reverend Ballard already said, we are desiring to be able to take ownership of that site. We know it's in your hands. We do not know the current status or your plans, but we're asking to be considered in those plans. We understand that to be truly considered, we need concrete plans of our own as to what we're going to currently do with it, what we're going to do in the future. Reverend Ballard touched on it a little bit. We want to make sure it is an asset to the community. It was for many, many years, going back to the late 40s and so forth. So we as an organization, Swift Creek CDC, would love for that to stay an asset in the community. I'm not saying it would not, but we would hate for it to be destroyed and go away. We want to be able to keep it going. And I will confess, we do not have all the plans set that we should have come with tonight. And that's because we were partnering with someone else, another organization, and they are no longer part. So we're putting together our own plan now. We're working as rapidly as we can. We pulled in some professional help, people to help us and so forth, to get all of this correct. Because we understand that when it comes to something as big as this, we're novices at it, but we're working to make sure we got everything lined up, legally, tax-wise, all those things like that. As I emphasized again, we desire to be able to own that property and to keep it as asset to the community. He touched on the fact that if we have a business plan, that we would use it for everyone, but especially the youth, the elderly, classes, training, and so forth. We've talked to OIC, we've talked to Nash Community College. They saying if we had ownership, they could help us with things like that. We've talked to others who are willing to work with us for the training and the classes and so forth, but they say they can't commit to anything or anything concrete until we have ownership of that site. So we're working on all that. And I think one of the things that may be pushing the board's mind or the public's mind for that problem, but for that matter, not problem, is finances. We partnered and we thought we had our finances lined up. Without that partner, we're going back and working on our finances again. We're lining up long-term as well as short-term. We realize that chances are the board will say, can they handle a property as big as this, as large as this? And we are working on that. Like I said, we are short-term, we're looking at thousands of dollars we can pull in, put it in the treasury and say, we got this. We can maintain that property if we did nothing else for this particular period of time and so forth. And that, as I said, long-term and short-term, we're working on that. We will have plans. If you do not do anything in property, we want you to just go ahead and give us the ownership. But if you do not, we will be back with plans, concrete plans, as if you did. We can handle it. And we'll thank you.
This time is your turn.
Good evening, and thank you for this opportunity. We want you to think about, as we have thought about, what are the benefits to our community? The community is a part of Nash County. At this point, we are a food desert. We had at one time approximately 7 stores, many of which sold groceries, including fresh vegetables and fruits. At this point, I can only think of 2 stores in the area, neither of which sell fresh fruits and vegetables. So I say again, we are a food desert. The nearest store that we can go to get fresh fruit and vegetables is probably near Benvenue. Now, some people may say you can go to Red Oak. Last time I was in there were not a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables, lots of stuff, but not fresh fruits and vegetables. So that would be one way that we would hope to be able to use the property to come up with, for lack of a better word, I'm going to say trailers, where we could grow food in water as opposed to trying to put it in the ground. Those trailers will grow at least 3 acres of fresh fruits and vegetables, and they only cost $125,000. So we are planning for the people who are in the community now, and we feel like what we're doing will help people in the community in the future. Could be a meeting place, recreational activities, socialization, particularly for older Americans. And what happens a lot of times is that people who are really and truly lonely, they get sick quicker. They die faster. So we want to stop that. There are lots of things that we can do in terms of meeting places for social, civic, and service organizations, family reunions, and the like. We have our 501c3. We're registered with the state. We have a business plan, and we're entering a new phase of fundraising. As a matter of fact, someone gave me $200 this weekend. I didn't ask for it, but they knew that I was interested. So they gave me $200 to bring to the treasurer, which I gave to her tonight. And we are not finished yet. Our plans and preparation are still unfolding, and we feel that God is not done working with us and through us. Thank you.
Town business item, today, Dr. Ellis.
So dear board members, please accept this request for the following donation. Nash Rocky Mount Early College High School received a $300 donation from Key Printing in Nashville. The donation is being made in support of the international trip to Greece and Italy that our Quiz Bowl team will embark upon in February 2026.
Mr. Chair, I make the motion that we accept this donation with great appreciation.
Motion by Mr. Dr. Chavis, second by Dr. Washington. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Personnel recommendation, Ms. Wallace.
Good evening, Chair Lamb, Vice Chair Bissett, and board members. The personnel report have been reviewed and it has been discussed on behalf of Superintendent Ellis. Your approval is requested at this time.
Entertain a motion to approve the personnel request. Motion by Mr. Gray, second. Second by Mr. Whitfield. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
High school parking permits, Dr. Washington.
Thank you, Chair Lamb. Just in the spirit of transparency to our parents and our other stakeholders, I wanted to have the conversation regarding our high school parking permits. Just to give a little context behind how this subject matter surfaced, the board received an inquiry from a parent from Northern Nash High School. After that, I received a couple others from other high schools. Just concerned about the increase in the cost of the parking permits for the high school. So the purpose for my agenda item tonight is just to kind of give other board members the opportunity to voice their concerns. And if the board doesn't mind, I would like to start. What I would like to see is that the cost rather of the parking permits for all of our traditional high schools be around $65 to $70. I simply ask that the superintendent or his designee, Mr. White, convene with those principals to kind of see if we can make that happen. The reasoning behind that is a $35 increase, I think, is rather aggressive amid today's inflation or the state of the economy. And those parents who have multiple drivers, it can get kind of expensive. So I would like to see the cost the same across the board. So if a student should move from one high school to another, it's not an issue where I pay $100 here and $65 over here. So I would just like the board to consider that and ask the superintendent if he would revisit that conversation with our traditional high school principal.
So can I give a little context first for the discussion? The high school principals wanted to raise the parking fees to $100 student to park on campus. It was $65, and what they did was they started asking or getting calls from other districts. Wake County was $200, Wilson was $100, Franklin was $60, Johnston was $120, Harnett was $60 to $80, depending on what school, and ours is at $65. So what they were going to try to do is meet in the middle of some of that, so they chose $100. My only issue is that I think you're right. We need to be consistent. I don't mind taking this back to the high school principals to discuss. Just remember, we start school next Tuesday. So, we can start the discussion. That's fine. I agree. We can move forward. And I think I gave the board how much they collected and what they spent it on. So if there's any other information I need to get, just let me know. But that was the context.
Any other comment? Mr. Bissett?
So I agree with Dr. Washington. I think the increase is a lot at one time. If you look at the data Mr. White gave us, you're asking for almost a 50% increase. And if you look at the data, they're rolling over and banking almost 50%. So they're not spending what they're collecting. In the world of budgeting, that's not justifying your ask for an increase. If you look at what they're spending it on, I'm okay with that. I mean, it's PBIS, it's some of the things, golf carts, blowers, things of that nature. No parking lot maintenance, but I just think it's a form of collecting revenue. And we all got to collect revenue from somewhere. That's my first issue is I think it's a slush fund to make money to spend in the schools. Two is the general statute is very clear that board votes on fees. Our own policy, we voted to give that right away to the schools. So I would ask Mr. Weeks to visit that, reach out to me, and let's go back and look at this board having the authority to vote on any fee that goes through. We're held accountable for the actions of the school. I think we need to be in charge of that.
So when it comes to fees, I just want everyone to understand that we have club fees, field trip fees, band fees, chorus fees, prom fees, student fees, senior dues, freshman class dues, athletic fees.
And we'll vote on all of them. I mean,
I just think that would be an administrative function for principals to decide what fees should be charged at schools. I have the confidence in them.
well,
I don't, you know,
well,
and I
lost
disagree.
confidence when they wanted a 50%
There has
increase.
been
That
some,
was-
and in this form, it talks about some of the things they've done in parking lots. So it's not a slush fund. They don't generate money like that. I just, former high school principal, I did the same thing. There were times we had to use this money for certain things. There's no other way they're gonna raise the money that some of these.
Well, and I've looked at those spreadsheets you provided us. I'd like to see where you bought some parking lot paint, some asphalt, some things, because I didn't see it. Maybe I missed it. But that's okay. But like I say, I'm not opposed to raising these funds because they got to have the money from somewhere to pay for the things that they're paying for in there. I just think $35 is a huge increase. And like I say, I know we have a lot of fees in this school system, but every other government, I mean, the general statute tells us we're supposed to vote on it. We wrote our own policy to give that authority away, and that's okay. But if we know those fees, put them on a fee schedule and this board vote on them annually. My 2 cents.
Mr. Dunn, I think.
Any way to know when the last time there was an increase in student parking fees across our high school? I mean, has it been every year? Has it been 10 years? Has it been?
I don't know. So I've got some former high school principals out there, Mr. Ward, Chad Thompson, Dr. Farrell. Do you know when the last, or do you remember when some of this? I was taking a stab. That's all I was looking out.
So that's been how long? If they were in place 2016.
So it's been $65 since that. Okay.
Well, let me get involved a little bit. The discussions I had, and I spoke with that parent. My understanding, and I could be wrong, that year before last it was $65, and last year they went to $75 for Northern, Southern, and Nash Central, and Rocky Mount stayed at 65. And if you look at Rocky Mounts, it's probably getting the least money. I mean, even if you raise it, their students are not taking the use of the facility. They're not using the parking lot. From what we gather, they're parking in other places around this thing. So even if you go up, this might not be advantageous to them. Which my conversations, I can agree to disagree on whether we should have a uniform one because everybody doesn't need the same thing. As a board member, I see the need for having the uniformity, but I can see both sides. But yeah, I think it went up $10 a year before, from what I gathered, and this last increase was 25, which was kind of the reason it became suspect is because she has 2 kids, and that's where it got pricey. But getting back to doing parking lots, some of those blowers and golf carts, that's what they use those for, is going to the parking lot and doing that. But as far as the painting and all that, maintenance is always taken care of. That's pretty a big ticket item to get parking lots done.
Dr. Chavis?
I believe the consistency is important. And what if a student is at Northern and transfers to Rocky Mount Senior High? Where do you go in terms of that fee when it's not consistent? And I believe the jump, and I know it takes money to run the world, we do need to be as a board vigilant and look over what we are charging our taxpayers regardless if it's individual homes. But at the same time, I think that's a big increase at once. And the consistency, and I would trust that Dr. Ellis would take that back and gather more information and be ready by the time school starts.
Well, I mean, to me, if you're gonna do that, we just stick with the 65.
Okay,
I mean, I'm just guessing
Yeah,
right now, because.
and that would make sense too.
I'll second that.
Mr. Evans?
I'm just wondering, when was anything sent out to the parents of an increase? I know most businesses send out changes either by mail or email or phone calls. And I don't know of any,
I
I don't know of any
assuming
notification that
Yeah.
this increase had happened.
I'm assuming that they sent out their individual mails, like, they had to be if a parent called y'all.
I didn't.
I called.
I
her.
think that parent ended up going up there to go pay. And then when she had to go online, that's when she found out that the prices had changed.
Yeah, we can find all that out. I talked.
Any other comments? Mr. Jenkins?
Ms. Miller, I hate to put you on the spot. I know Northern's was paved not too long ago. Do you know when any others were paved or any? Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Is it like, do you know if it's every 2 years? Okay.
All right.
No problem.
Any other-
Don't worry about it.
Any other comment? I appreciate the discussion. I think it's been very helpful. Dr. Ellis will go back and regroup or retalk or whatever, but as a board member, I do appreciate him handling the fees instead of us handling individual fees, because I have no idea how much some of this stuff costs or where the money goes to or the individual need for each committee. Thank you for the discussion. We'll move right along. Administrative Services and Operations, Mr. Jenkins.
Bless you. You, speaking of money, we got some contracts. We need some 4 action items. You want to step up here and tell us about them, Ms. Wallace?
Good evening again. We do have CIS contract. That is our communities and schools contract. And we do have agents in our middle and high schools. Kelly Services contract, that is for the substitutes, and global recruitment contract. That is for recruitment for our business and international faculty teachers, and Silverman Law contract, that is for our immigration attorney.
Since these are action items, will you take a vote, Mr. Lamb? Call.
Yes, I entertain the motion to approve these 4 action items. Ms. Wallace.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Jenkins, second by Dr. Chavis. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed likewise.
Thank you.
Motion carried.
End of year budget amendments, Ms. Sanders. This is for information only.
So the end of the year budget amendments were presented as information. And I do stand here if you guys have any questions about those.
Anybody got any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right. You got the next one too.
All right, so the next one is the budget resolution for the 25-26 school year. I also stand for any questions as Dr. Ellis, we bring this forward, asking for approval.
Any questions, anyone?
I'll entertain the motion to approve the budget resolution as presented.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Edwards, second by Mr. Whitfield. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed likewise. Motion carried.
Ms. Miller, we'll let you finish the last 3.
Good evening.
For information, we shared with you in the committee meeting about the Nashville mural. That was just information as to where that was, and we're waiting to hear back. We've not had any updates at this time. Next was Sale of Swift Creek. It has already gone through the process. It would be a bid process, just like it has in the past. That was information only. And then the easement of Swift Creek was in reference to the 911 tower, and they needed easement to get to the 911 tower. It was about a 15-foot to 18-foot easement that the county had asked on. That was for approval.
Okay, this time I'll entertain a motion to approve the easement for Swift Creek. Motion by Mr. Bizet, second by Mr. Jenkins. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Ms. Miller.
Academic Services and Accountability, Mr. Bizet.
Field trips. Think you're doing that, Ellis? Mr. White is not here.
Smith came.
Okay,
I believe there's only one.
right. Nice.
Good evening.
Evening.
The field trip is an international trip to Athens, Greece. It is sponsored by the American Council for International Students. It will take place in February, and we'll have 8 students who will be accompanied by 3 chaperones. The superintendent recommends this field trip request for approval.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion by Dr. Washington,
I love it.
That was question second.
second. Dr. Chavis. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
So the Jordan driving contract?
Yeah. The next contract, well, this contract is for Jordan's driving school. It is for our students who will take driver's education during the 25-26 school year. The funding is through the Department of Public Education. And again, the superintendent recommends this contract for approval.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the driving school contract. So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Whitfield, second by Mr. Jenkins. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, likewise.
Thank you. Dr. Mudd, Alternative School Accountability Model.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So as presented last week in the committee meeting for the full board, Dr. Ellis requests permission for Tar River Academy to continue using option B for its accountability model. There are 3 options for alternative schools. Option A, the traditional model that the traditional schools use. Option B, which is a modified formula, and option C, which is one that is made up by the local district and approved by DPS. So we request approval for option B for Tar River.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Washington, second by Mr. Dutton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Policy Committee, Mr. Week.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, we're going to group all these policies together, except for policy 4310. All these policies have been reviewed in committee, and we recommend to approve on first read and sit for 30 days. If you could get me a motion for that, please.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the policy.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gray, second by Mr. Weeks. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, likewise. Motion carried.
Okay, I believe we have Mr. Farrow is going to give us some update on policy 4318.
Good evening. So on Friday, Dr. Ellis and I met with all of our middle, elementary, and high school principals to go over policy code 4318 to specifically talk about instructional time and how it should be defined. Middle school and elementary principals were in agreement that they wanted the instructional time to start when students entered the building. That they had already, for the most part, been operating in that manner. And that was the way that they wanted to go, how they wanted to define instructional time. High schools was a little bit different. High schools felt like, because of the age of the students, that they really wanted to pursue at the end of the first tardy bell. So if school starts at 7:30 for traditional high school, when that tardy bell rings at 7:30, cell phones are away and they're away for the remainder of the day. For the early college city, I think it would be around 9:15, Justice Smith. would be the situation for them. So their recommendation is that instructional time, again, for the elementary, middle schools, is when students enter the building. For the high school, it would be when the tardy bell rings to begin school, or that first period class.
Did they say high school have any concerns, pro, con, or cell phones during lunch?
They did not want cell phones during lunch. Transition between classes, once they were away, they wanted them away.
Was there any clarification around the end of day? That's just when the last bell rings for middle, elementary.
When that bell rings or whenever school is dismissed at the end of the day, then they would have access to their cell phones again.
All right. Excuse me. So if a parent needs to get up with a kid because of a unexpected death in the family or anything like that, they're gonna call the office.
Yes, sir.
And
that is our recommendation, is that they call the front office.
all right.
Any more questions? Mr. Weber is gonna follow
Yeah,
up
is that
with
great?
you. I'm sorry.
Mr. Gray.
Sorry. That's great.
So how are we supposed to, what's the solution to our students not having those phones during instructional time? Are they required to place them in a locker? Are they required to place them in a packet? Because I know I went to state school board conference, and that was one of the presentations where they had a device where the students could place their phone in the device at the beginning of the school day, and it's secured where they do not have access to pull it out. It's in their possession, but they cannot take it out to use it until at the end of the day, they walk by a scanning machine. And I can't remember the name of the packet that was used to secure. Thank you. Is that an option that we're looking at, or how are we supposed to ensure that the students don't have access to their phones if we're saying you can't use it from the time instruction starts until the time?
For the board's discussion last week, with Dr. Farrell, may I, because you weren't here, was that the students will have the devices on their person. The district will not absorb any liability per the devices. We're just kind of managing the access to the device.
And to the point that I think that you're making, Mr. Gray, is for high schools, and particularly, it's going to be a learning curve, but the expectation is going to have to be set by the principal, school staff, that the cell phones are away, out of sight. We would love to do something like the Yonder packet pouches, but of course that's money, and it's not something that we had kind of figured in our budget to pursue at this point. And so the onus of that is going to, first of all, be on the students, because they're going to know the rules, the expectation. And then second of all, would be on the teachers and the school staff to manage that if a student has them out or visible or on and using them. Yes, sir.
I know look, I'm all for the kid. I mean, they're glued to them as it is. Mine are too. But there's gonna be a lot of people wanting to go to the bathrooms. Have you considered all this that's gonna put on the teachers?
The conversation that Dr. Ellis had with our principals is that, first of all, we're not trying to make this a fight. There's a clearly set expectation around cell phones and personal electronic devices. That information will be shared with students, it'll be shared with staff, it'll be shared with parents. Students have to have the responsibility of following the rules. If they don't follow the rules and they're caught in the act of doing something that they're not supposed to be doing, then there are consequences that come along with that, and they're going to be subject to the consequences. But Dr. Ellis made it clear he does not want staff, he doesn't want teachers fighting with students. If they have them out, they're not supposed to be out. Teacher asks for it, they refuse, they make an administrator aware. Don't try to take it, don't try to fight with a student, because the expectation will already be set.
You said the end of the school day is
elementary, middle is when?
Whenever the bell ring or the students are dismissed.
All right, but the policy says they're prohibited. Elementary and middle school students who participate in after-school programs are prohibited from using wireless communication. That
So-
contradicts, right?
So that would be after-school programs, like if it's tutoring or something of that nature that is held
Football?
by the school. Not
Athletic?
for football, athletics. We
That's
have
not considered an after-school program.
Not instructional.
Okay. All right, because I mean, that could be confusing.
Yeah, when we looked at that and we read that, what we were thinking about is our after-school programs that's focused along instruction, learning, things of that nature.
And I just kind of want to make that clear to somebody, an after-school program is anything we do after.
I got it.
So you may want to a little bit more
Academic.
specific.
And that's a great event in itself.
Any other questions?
When they have in-house events like people come in to see the kids or pep rallies and stuff like that, is there an exception to bring the phones out then, or is the expectation still the same that it stays put away?
If I was principal, the expectation would be the same.
That's an easy question.
Yeah. It would be the same.
Anybody else?
Just want to make sure I understood his question. When you said outside visitors, you mean like if parents were coming on campus, that would not apply. It's only to students.
No, like if a band or something, some people are coming in for educational purposes for the student and they want to record it or
Like
something like that.
career activities, you know, where
yeah.
they have showcases or things like that, extra activities within the school. Where outside community partners are coming in.
That fall under authorized use by teacher.
It could, if that's, if that was part of what the teacher was doing in that particular setting. But just generally speaking, if we were having a pep rally, and again, if I was the principal, the expectation would be the same.
One more. There are times where there's testing in the classroom, and after testing's over with, there's still plenty of time. And the teachers in the past have offered, hey, y'all get on your cell phones, do whatever for the rest of the class. Is that going to still be authorized?
That should not be authorized during that time.
I'm just letting you know what goes on in the real world.
Hopefully it's not state testing, because then that would be a whole nother issue for us. So I'm going to assume that I hope and pray that was just a teacher made test.
But, and it's like we stressed to the principal, this is not a Nash County public school. The governor defined it law. We were tasked to define the instruction time piece. Other than that, like what Mr. Edwards said, doesn't matter now. How early you finish from a test is out. That is instruction time. The only instructional time we're defining is in a hallway, in a lunchroom. Other than that, that's all we're defining for Nash County. Other than that, they're not supposed to be at all.
And to be quite honest, board members, I know that most of you have probably looked at the policy that's currently in place. It was already a pretty stringent policy. We just did not push it through.
Anybody else? Mr. Weber?
Thank you. Good evening, board members. So following that discussion, we have two different versions of the policy to show you tonight. Last Monday during committee, the direction to myself and to staff was to create some changes to the revised version that would do three things. Under authorized use section A, we were asked to draft language that would delegate to the superintendent the authority to establish regulations that specify parameters for teachers to grant permission for educational purposes. Because, right, I mean, this is all driven by statute now, where it used to be something that was wholly in the board's hands. Now there's a statute essentially prohibits communication devices from being used, displayed, or turned on, with just a handful of exceptions, right? One of those exceptions is regards to educational purposes. The others have to do with a student's IEP, Section 504 plan, or a student's health plan. So you can see here, we've made that change. I think the version last week delegated that authority to define educational purposes to your school building leaders. The committee members wanted uniformity. So we revised that so that that delegation goes to the superintendent. Just below number 3, the second bit of direction for us was to define instructional time. Last week in committee, there was discussion around keeping things the same at elementary, middle, and high school so that you have the same definition. And the discussion there was that it would begin with the first tardy bell or end at dismissal. So we've drafted it that way, but you've heard from your staff here that they're recommending a different version. So we'll pull that up next. But you just want to walk through this just so you can see what we did. The third thing that we were supposed to do and come back to you was to provide some clarity around smartwatches and how and when they can be used. So we drafted this language here that would clarify smartwatches may be worn when they're used as watches, but all features that would turn them into a wireless communication device, essentially, right? Voice messaging, other data communication has to be disabled when the general use of wireless communication devices is prohibited. So those were the 3 changes we made coming out of committee. Now staff have, after talking with principals, recommended a different version. But I'll pause here to see if there are any questions about this before walking through the staff recommended version. Okay. So we're going to keep pull up the new version. So, so if you stay with the first paragraph here, there are a couple of changes. One has to do with smartwatches. Dr. Farrell, I don't believe you touched on this, but as I understand it, principals at the elementary, middle, and high school level just wanted smartwatches to be treated like any other wireless communication device, like cell phones. So instead of having to guess, right, is that smartwatch, does it have its, data turned on, right? Can it be used to take pictures or videos? Just to say, hey, it's like a cell phone, it's got to be put away. So what we've done in this version is just included smartwatches in the definition of wireless communication device. That means anywhere in this policy you see that term, it applies to smartwatches. So there's the general prohibition on having it in use or displayed. That applies to cell phones and smartwatches. So that's one change here. If you'll scroll down, the delegation to the superintendent is the same, but what we've done with the definition of instructional time is changed it so that at the elementary and middle school level, instructional time is now defined as beginning upon arrival at school and ending at dismissal. And at the high school level, it is defined as beginning with the first tardy bell and ending at dismissal. And then you'll see I've deleted the language about smartwatches because instead of having some different rule for those, they're just lumped in with everything else. So this is the staff recommended version. I'm available to answer questions and happy to facilitate discussion.
So Jason, what do we need to do to make this so we can get this taken care of tonight?
Right. Statutory deadline is January 1 to have this policy adopted. There are some boards who are waiting to do that. There are others who are looking to have a revised version in place before the start of the school year. My understanding is that's what you want to do. So if the board supports the staff recommended version, there could be a motion to approve on first reading. If you do that, to be clear, that means it's effective, now and effective at the beginning of the school year. And you would not need to wait 30 days or bring it back for second reading. And there's no, under your board policy, development policy, since this is a revised version of his existing policy, you can take action on it tonight.
Mr. Chairman, that would, go ahead.
Only question either for Dr. Fair or Dr. Ellis, can you give us a little bit on the smartwatches? Because I think that is a change from maybe what what we knew, but obviously coming from the school buildings, they're just wanting to shut them off.
Yes, sir. And I think for the most part, if there was one person who was not in agreement with it, there was either one or two, but I believe it was everyone from what I can remember, that they were in agreement that smartwatches are an electronic device that can be used to communicate. And that they wanted to treat them in the same manner that they treated cell phones, that they could have them on them, but they needed to be away and not visible.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I will make the motion that we accept the staff version that Mr. Farrer presented, that we waive first read, and it'll be as I have my senior moment. Approval on first read, and we're waiving the 30 days, waiving second read.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Weeks, second by Mr. Whitfield on policy 4318. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed likewise. One, raise your hand if you say no. Mr. Bizzett, Mr. Edwards, motion carried. Student Support Service and Operation, Dr. Chambers.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair, the Student Support Service and Operation Committee met on July 28th. There were two items that we were called for action for tonight, and if Ms. Christie Grant would come up, one was Chitter Chatter contract and Maxim Nurse contract.
Good evening again. As we discussed in the committee meeting, we do have two contracts for action item, which are our Chitter Chatter contract, which we provide speech services for our students, for our private school students, preschool students, and our school age students throughout the district. Dr. Chavis, do I do them together? You don't do them separate?
If Ms. Beth.
Together,
Sure.
okay. And then also for our Maxim one-to-one nursing contracts, which is for our students that require one-on-one nurses in order to attend school. They have to have nursing services in order to attend school.
I will entertain a motion to approve the contracts that Ms. Grant just read.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Weeks, second by Dr. Chavis. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed likewise, motion carried. Thank you.
There was one other item for information only. I gave a recap regarding the summer school board conference. And the reason for this is to make other board members aware of the investment and show the value of the investment in attending school conferences. It was very informative and information was shared with the whole board regarding the conference.
And to superintendent's report.
So I just want to thank everyone for the board retreat. We had some very good highlights today. We are hoping that in September, the next board meeting, we can share some results. August 12th is our first day of school. August 14th is our back to school fair at 6 to 8 Nash Community College. And as the new school year begins, just wish everyone the best. Thanks for everything you do, and let's have a fantastic year.
My report, I would like to thank the teachers that are hard at work right now and grouchy, waiting for the students to come back to school. For the central office and the principals, what they're getting ready to start the new year. I hope to have a great opening of this year and continued on throughout the school year. Thank you. Scheduling important upcoming meetings. Board of Education Committee meeting Thursday, October 28th. September work session Thursday, September 4th. And September board meeting will be Thursday, September 4th. Anybody else have anything they need to add to this meeting? Without that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Weeks, second by Mr. Whitfield. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion to adjourn.